Welcome to the Mayor's Update for September 2015. I'm Marla Carter with the City of Everett. We take time out each month to visit with Mayor Ray Stephanson to talk about things that are of importance to you. Welcome, Mayor.
Thank you, Marla. I appreciate it. I appreciate you helping, and our public information director's absence. I know she's raising a new baby and getting acclimated to that, so I'm anxious to have Megan back, but you've been doing a great job, so thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes. Yeah. Looking forward to having Megan back. She's,
yeah.
She's fun to work with.
She is fun to work with.
Yes. So I want to start out today talking about the Community Streets Initiative. The task force has been underway for about a year now, and lots has been happening, and I want to have you give us an update about what actions have been taken and what we can see in the future.
Absolutely. You're right, it's been about a year, and just as a reminder to our viewers, we asked some 23 citizens to come together and volunteer their time, and it was a huge time commitment to learn about the streets issues that we were facing as a community. And that really started, the idea of that started probably maybe as much as a year before that. So a couple of years ago, we really started seeing increased homelessness, issues of drug abuse. We sensed mental illness issues, but really more and more street problems in our community. We saw other communities around us trying to deal with it. Oftentimes, the way they dealt with it seemed to be pushing more of the homeless into the core of Snohomish County, which is Everett. And we really got to the point where we knew we needed to do something. A few ground rules, Marla, just to remind our viewers. We didn't ask elected officials to be on that task force. We really felt that we needed to hear from the citizens, whether they were business owners, neighborhood leaders, people in the social services, people from the religious community, really people who either were feeling the negative impact of people acting out, or were trying through churches or agencies to help, but to bring people from a lot of different walks of life together. We staffed it with professionals, with police officers. The sheriff was there, our city attorney's office, our office in neighborhoods, and we went through a very robust process of really identifying what the issues were and are, and then to begin to develop recommendations to deal with it. The result of their some 5 or 6 months worth of work were 63 recommendations. We have acted on a number of those recommendations, which I'll talk about in a minute. This is, I would say, a very frustrating issue for our citizens, whether you're at the grocery store and somebody is asking for a handout, or they're on a street corner, or you're seeing behavior that you know, is appalling in some cases. You don't want your family to see it. You certainly don't want your kids to see it. And there are a lot of people that are just really having a difficult time. Oftentimes, the sort of common denominator to all the street issues is poverty. And that was the one thing that really sort of was an aha moment for me. So as these recommendations rolled out, it was really a combination of some enforcement kinds of things that we could do as a city, as well as what were the services that we could provide to help people. So let me just recap some of those. The first one in the way of enforcement is we identified alcohol impact zones. These are areas where cheap, high alcohol content beverages can be purchased. We have to prove that the sale of those products creates some kind of situation in your community that's violates a law or is hurting quality of life. We went through that extensive process. We identified the zones. We're currently in about month 3 of a 6-month voluntary process. We will review our findings with the City Council towards the end of the year, and then determine whether we want to make these alcohol impact zones permanent. I hope we do, because even though some of this spreads to other areas of the city, we do see in other cities have seen a net decrease. So that's one thing that we wanted to do. We had debates about panhandling and trying to restrict it in certain areas. We could not get a majority of the council to support that. We looked at sit-lie areas of the city that were very problematic and tried to restrict that activity. Again, we weren't able to get the council to support that. So we've moved on. Hopefully, if we have to, we'll revisit those issues, because I really believe that while there's a lot we can do to improve quality of life, there is our responsibility to keep our citizens safe and free of that activity. And so it really is both an enforcement issue as well as a support and help issue. The United Way has stepped up with a staff person to assist us. They are funding that person. Our Deputy City Attorney, David Hall, will continue to be involved, as well as other staff. But that one person that can work this issue full-time will really give it even increased focus and our ability to do some of the things and implement our recommendations. It'll be extremely helpful. We now have an embedded social worker that partners with police. That person is actually hired, is located in our police department. The idea here is, as opposed to keep arresting people, getting them before a judge, putting them in jail, and just having that cycle repeat time and time and time again, is to find out what their issues are. If it's substance abuse, get them the help they need. If it's mental illness, get them into healthcare facilities. So that embedded social worker will help that process an awful lot. So we're looking forward to see benefit from that. In our 2016 budget, I'll ask the City Council to commit another $1 per every citizen in the city of Everett from our revenues, or a little over $100,000 of human needs money that will really be focused on streets initiative programs. So those are some of the things that we've started. In October, we're going to bring the cities together to focus on one of the big issues that we think every community faces, and that's encampments. How do we deal with it? What's the solution? We know that we've gotten some federal money that will help in temporary housing to get people in sort of emergency situations off the street, and we'll be defining that. But the ultimate goal here is to find shelter and housing, and then to ensure that the people that take advantage of those services, that they are, there's some work pattern or something that they're going to need to do to ensure that they maintain the quality of the housing, and that they're making some commitment to society. I would tell you that as I hear these other communities deal with tent cities, that's not Everett's way, and I think we have got to find a way to deal with this issue that's more humane for the people who are in need, and that doesn't have a negative impact on our citizens' quality of life. So a lot going on. We'll continue to do updates through this medium as well as others, and in newspapers. This is an issue we're going to need to be working years from now. And so I think we're focused on it. We've got mental health court, we've got we're sort of the envy, and a lot of cities around us are watching to see what we're doing and are asking a lot of good questions. So we think we're on the right track, and we think that we can make this situation better.
Very good. Thank you for that update. It'll be interesting to see what future developments are in that arena.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when we come back, we're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we'll talk about some development that's going on in Everett, and we'll do a recap of the summer and what we can look forward to for the fall.
A few moments is all it takes for life to come to a screeching halt. At 20 miles per hour, that person has a 95% chance of living. A person struck at 40 miles per hour has an 85% chance of dying. Pedestrian deaths are senseless and preventable. Police are strictly enforcing safety laws. Slow down, be alert, be street smart.
Welcome back to the Mayor's Update. It seems like everywhere you go in Everett, you can see development happening. There's lots going on. It's kind of exciting. Can you tell us some of the big projects that are happening in Everett?
It's very exciting. So I think every mayor in the United States loves to see cranes in the air. It's sort of a, you know, and I do too. And I like looking out of my office window and seeing the crane at the new Marriott hotel that's under construction. I think there were a lot of folks that doubted that we would ever have the market or the ability to see a new hotel downtown. And we first had the Hampton Inn, which is down near the new Batella Market complex, and then now to see the Marriott Hotel under construction. I believe, my memory serves, I think about September of next year they'll be complete, and look forward to having that hotel in the core of our downtown. I think it'll get a lot of usage for people who go to concerts and events at Xfinity. So if it's anywhere as successful as Hampton Inn has been, it'll be a terrific project. So yeah, it's a lot going on. Of course, the huge project, which we don't see in our downtown core, is the Boeing 777X new building. It's $1 billion of investment. I did count the cranes in the air out there. There were 14 of them in one project. They're building a building that's 1.3 million square feet, and this building will house the big ovens that bake the new composite wings that'll be really the centerpiece of the 777X. So it's a technology, Marla, that will, you know, really transform flight as we know it. It's a technology that's leading edge to any other airplane manufacturer. So, you know, 777X I think will be a huge success. It already, in its current airplane, is their #1 seller of all time. They're talking already about a next generation of 757 with a composite wing. They're talking about the potential of a brand new airplane that's will meet a certain market size. So I think the future of aerospace and that development really, it just drives everything else. I mean, we would not see hotels going up. We wouldn't see a project like the Batella Market. You know, that's a project that has been and will be the centerpiece of downtown. It's on the main floor, 47,000 square feet of market. This will be some seasonal market, farmers market, some year-round marketing. There'll be a kitchen, restaurants, and areas for people to take advantage of that. I think 200 plus apartments above. The Aero apartments across from, let's see, Peak Fitness. I'm a member there. I should probably remember it more quickly, but I'm outside running and not in there as much as I should be. But that's a Scott Dahl project that is near complete. And we've seen through the recession till now completed and under construction, well over 1,000 new housing units downtown. Of course, down on the riverfront, we see some of the model homes that are starting down there, and then the centerpiece of riverfront will be a mixed-use development. There's a major international retailer that's very, very interested in that site. And then the Port of Everett's doing a wonderful job with their new port development, and we're going to start seeing bids going out. The good news about the way they've redeveloped that project is a lot of local builders and developers are going to have an opportunity to be part of that experience as opposed to, somebody from out of town. So it's just terrific to see all of this going on in little old Everett, and it will just make our quality of life so much better. It's why we pay attention to so many issues. Fundamental to any city is keeping our citizens safe, and we take that responsibility very seriously. We've got a great police department. Our firefighters and paramedics are top-notch, and that's really the foundation. And then all the things, and I know we'll talk about it in a little bit, but summer is our busy time for a lot of free activities. And I guess really nothing's ever free. These activities occur because our citizens pay taxes, but unlike the state park system, we don't make them pay twice. You pay your taxes once, and there are free concerts and music series and street tunes and the 4th of July, and there's just a huge amount of activities. We had a great weekend in August where we had fresh paint, we had the market, we had music, we had my son's favorite, the Brew Fest, and then this coming weekend will be the trailers, or the second weekend of August was the food trailers. So just a lot of fun things to do. And then we've just had this incredible summer. I know we've had water concerns, and I take that very seriously, but I got to tell you, having all that sunshine's been pretty nice.
It has made for some really fun events in Everett this year. I heard a lot of them were best ever kind of events.
Yeah.
And so what do we have to look forward to this fall?
Well, this fall starts a number of recognition events. We've got, we've been taking nominees for Monte Cristo. This is recognition of people who are improving or continuing to maintain great quality homes and small business around our town, and we recognize those folks. We have arts awards coming up with the Richard Wendt Art Award, as well as other mayor recognition events. Towards the Christmas holidays, we bring the 300 plus citizens in who volunteer for boards and commissions and thank and recognize them. So, I've said this a lot before, so it's probably it's I guess a testament to how long I've been here, but I've lived in a number of different cities. I worked for a corporation for over 30 years, and there's just no place like Everett in terms of community. Neighbors who know each other by name, and our police officers who really embrace neighborhood policing, all the activities we have. I think we just have that right balance. Somebody said, who's a friend of mine, and I think part of this is true. She said, Everett's like a small southern town in disguise. And while I'm not sure southern is really appropriate, we're a city that's, approaching 110,000 citizens, so we're not small, but we're not really large. I think we're sort of in that sweet spot of, best of both worlds. So, it's just been such an honor for me to be mayor and to be part of this and to see our citizens embrace Everett and work hard to make sure that our neighborhoods are strong and volunteer in so many ways. It's just been terrific, and something that I'll, when I'm older, I always going to say old. When I'm older and in a rocking chair somewhere, I'll never forget it. So.
Thank you. Yeah, there's plenty to do and lots of things to look forward to as we move forward. That's it for today. I hope you'll join us next month for the next Mayor's Update.